Welcome all. It's Beatle Dave from Derbyshire in the UK. Now today we'll take a closer look at this LP, The Beatles Live from the Star Club, Hamburg, Germany, 1962. Now depending on which research you do, you get two variations of actually who's on this LP. The variation on this one is that it was recorded in late December 1962. So in that case, it means that Ringo was on drums and it doesn't feature Pete Best. But in some other research that you can do on some sites, it will say it was done in early 1962 and it's Pete Best on drums and not Ringo. Now, the thing I can tell you is I've listened to these records many, many times over the years. And because of the way that it's actually recorded, I mean, it was recorded live, but with somebody like the old microphone, like, and that microphone went into like an old reel-to-reel tape recorder. So there was never like high quality recordings in the first place. But on some of the songs, the drumming does sound more like Pete Best. And then on other songs, the drumming does sound more like Ringo Starr. So I'm going to leave it up to you. This is the UK version that we're going to look at first, which is this one. And this was actually released on the 8th of April, 1977. And it was released by a record company called Lingersong Limited in London, England. And it says producer and director of engineering and production, Larry Gosberg. Executive producer, Michael Margot and Larry Harplin. Remix engineer, Jim Zip. Remix and editing, Sound Idea Studio, New York. Special thanks, Tommy DeForti. So, although this is a British copy, I think like the mastering and everything was actually done in the USA, wasn't it? Now, the story behind these is I think it was a bloke called King Size Taylor who actually did the original recordings, but it didn't just record the Beatles, it recorded a hell of a lot of other Merseyside acts that was appearing in the Star Club in 1962. And I think when the Beatles did actually start to become famous in the UK, I think he did actually offer Brian Epstein the tapes for something daft like £25. And Brian Epstein actually turned him down. So this has been bootlegged from sort of like the late 1960s onwards, but this was like the first, I'd say, proper attempt to try and make a legitimate release of it. Although how legitimate it was, I don't know, because I think the Beatles actually ended up taking this version to court, didn't they? So, like I say, it's 2 LP set. So side one, you get I Saw Her Standing There. Obviously, the Beatles went on to re-record that, didn't they? Well, I think they'd already recorded it, and if this is from December, they'd already recorded that for Please Please Me, hadn't they? Then you got Roll Over Beethoven, Hippie Hippie Shake, Sweet Little 16, Lend Me Your Comb, and Your Feet's Too Big. Now, a lot of these songs they actually did record for the BBC as well. Side two, Twist and Shout, which obviously, if this is from December of 1962, they'd already recorded that for Parlophone, hadn't they? Mr. Moonlight, they went on to re-record that for Beatles for Sale, A Taste of Honey. Again, that was recorded for Please Please Me, wasn't it? Best Me Mucho. Again, see, tried to record that quite a few times, didn't they? Reminisce, and then you've got the medley of Kansas City and Hey Hey Hey, which of course they did re-record for the 1964 album Beatles for Sale. Side 3, Ain't Nothing Shaking, but the leaves on the tree, although it just says Ain't Nothing Shaking on here. To Know It Is to Love Her. Now, again, see, they did a version of that for the Decca tapes, didn't they? Little Queenie, Falling in Love Again, Ask Me Why. Again, they'd already, if this is December 62, they'd already recorded that for Parlophone, hadn't they? Be a Bopalula and Hallelujah, Hallelujah, I Love Her So. Side 4, Red Cells in the Sunset. Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. Again, that was recorded for Beatles for Sale, wasn't it? Matchbox, Talking About You, Shimmy Shake, Long Tall Solid, I Remember You. So that's it. And that's the track listing. Not really much imagination's gone into the sleeve, has it? Or the cover, shall we say. However, if I remember rightly, this is a gatefold. So when you open it up, and although there is pictures of the Beatles, the only pictures you get is either John Lennon, Paul McCartney, John Lennon and Paul McCartney, or George Harrison, John Lennon and Paul McCartney. So you can't really even tell from the photos that are included in this who's on the drums. And there's a little bit of information on here. Again, it doesn't actually tell you when it was recorded. And according to this king size tailor, actually offered by Epstein the tapes for £20, not 25. So there's like a little bit of information on here, but it's all very mishmash, to be honest. That's what the Star Club actually looked like, apparently. Apparently it burnt down in the late 60s, didn't it? I think the Star Club. So we'll have a look at the labels. Again, like I say, the sound quality on these isn't that good. I forgot. This is a weird one, because although it says it's on Linger Song, my copy's actually on RCA, which seems a bit weird. So I can't remember this being on RCA. So that's side one. And that is side two. Isn't that weird? Electronically reproduced for stereo. But it does say LIL1. And then at the bottom it does say published 1977 Ling Songs Limited. I just can't ever remember this being on RCA. That's thrown me now. That's thrown me. This is sides 3 and 4. Again, it's on RCA. That's actually surprised me, because I think I've played the one in the box sets more than I've played this. No, this is actually really, really nice condition. To be honest, I don't know if I've even ever played this one. I know I've played another one that I'm going to show you in a bit. So yeah. So who is on the drums? Is it Pete Best or is it Ringo Starr? Well, obviously, if it's from December 1962, it'd be Ringo, wouldn't it? But like I've said, when I've listened to this, it's very, very hard. And on some of the songs, the drumming sounds more like Pete Best than it does Ringo. Unless it was a mixture of two. I mean, they did play Star Club and in Germany, didn't they, for about 2 years on and off? So could be a mix of both of them on. The other one I've got, so that is a open copy, and it says there includes 13 never before released Beatles tracks. That's what it says there. There are more than 13 on there, don't there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I make it 26, and I don't think any of them had ever been officially released before. Might have been semi. So that's the copy. That's like the copy that I thought I'd played, but thinking about it now, I think it was this one, which was the American one, which we're going to come to in a minute. And then this is a sealed copy of the one we've just looked at. It's still sealed and everything, so obviously that is going to be mint, isn't it? So I don't know what label that's on. Yeah, it's exactly the same and everything on it. LNL1 YY LN1 times 2 YY. But the interesting thing about that one is, and as you can see, on that one that I've opened, it says Kansas City, hey, 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 just there. And yet on this one, it just says Kansas City. You see that? So even that was like a variation. Like I say, then so that's a sealed copy. And then there's this one, which is the American version. And this says includes 15 never before released tracks on 2 LPs. The Beatles live at the Star Club in Hamburg, Germany, 1962. A piece of history, Lin Song. Includes 15 never before released tracks, also available on 8-track cartridge. What's this one like on the inside? Again, the only photo you've got of the Beatles doesn't show the drummer. I mean, my personal opinion, and it's just my opinion, is that this isn't just from one time that the Beatles played there. I think this is from a couple of times. So I think Pete Best could have been on drums in the early bits, and then obviously if it is from December, it's Ringo. This is in a slightly different track listing as well. Right, so on this one, again, it's over two sides. So side one, you've got I'm going to sit right down and cry over you. Then you've got Roll Over Beethoven. Then you've got the hippie hippie shake. And then you've got Sweet Little 16, Lend Me Your comb, and then Your Feet's Too Big. Side two, Where Have You Been All My Love? All My Life, sorry. Mr. Moonlight, A Taste of Honey, Best Me Mucho, Till There Was You, Kansas City, Hey, Hey, Hey. Side three, Ain't Nothing Shaking But the Leaves on the Tree. To Know Where Is to Love Her, Little Queenie, Falling in Love Again, Sheila, Bebopaloola, Hallelujah, I Love Her So, Red Sails in the Sunset, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, Matchbox, Talking About You, Shimmy Shake, Long Tall Sally, and I Remember You. Now, looking at that, according to this, you don't get any of the Lennon and McCartney songs that was on that one. On that one, you get, what do you get? I Saw Her Standing There, which isn't on this American one. You get Ask Me Why, which isn't on this one. You get Twist and Shout. You don't get Twist and Shout on that one either for some reason. I presume that was due to some sort of copyright. The catalogue number for this is LS27001. Be interesting to see what label this is on. Oh, this is just on. This is on a completely different label. This is some RCA. That's side 4. I must have another copy of this somewhere. I've got to have another copy of this as well as that one in that box set. Side 2. Because this is American version, isn't it? Yeah, so you get side 1, and then side 4, and then you get side 2, side 3. Yeah, very strange, isn't it? Switch that one off. Isn't it funny how people will start texting you or send you messages when you do one of these? So this is just basically on a Ling Song label, but it isn't really on Ling Song. It's just as a piece of history of Beatles. Double H licensing corp, it says there. If you can see that, Double H licensing corp. Like I say, side 1, you've got I'm going to sit right down and cry over you. Roll Over Beethoven, Hippie Hippie Shake, Sweet Little 16, Lend Me Your comb, and Your Feet's Too Big. In fact, this doesn't actually look like there's a strange. So you've got side 1, and then on the other side, it's not side 2, it's side 4. So on side 4, you've got Red Sails in the Sunset, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, Matchbox, Talking About You, Shimmy Shake, Long Tall Sally, and I Remember You. Nice labels, though. Well, different, aren't they? If I remember rightly, the reason that you get in like side 1 and side 4 and side 2 and side 3 was because in America they used to put them on the spindles, and you could use your records up. So you'd put side 1 and then side 2 would play straight after it. I think that's right. Again, these are on really, really nice condition. So side 2, Where Have You Been All My Life? Mr. Moonlight, A Taste of Honey, Best Me Mucho, Till There Was You, Kansas City, Hey, Hey, Hey. And these look like they've hardly ever been played, to be honest. So side 3, is Ain't Nothing Shaking But the Leaves on the Tree. To Know Her Is to Love Her, Little Queenie, Falling in Love Again, Sheila, Bebopalula, and Hallelujah, Hallelujah, I Love Her So. In fact, I know why these haven't been played that much. I did used to have another copy of it, and it actually cracked. I ended up, I thought, waste time just keeping one. So that's going to be it on this. There's slight differences in the running order, and obviously that one hasn't got the Lennon-McCartney songs on. That one has, and the covers are slightly different, aren't they? And the backs are completely different. That's American and that's the British one. I think that one actually looks better a lot. I think the British one does actually look better. And on the British one, that's on the gatefold on the inside, isn't it? Where they put their track listing on the inside. Yeah, so that's going to be it for today. If you ever get a chance to listen to any of these, whichever version you get, you know, they're not the most expensive Beatles albums to find. They're not cheap. Excuse me. I think you can pick the UK ones up for between £10 and £20 usually. I mean, that one might be worth a little bit more because it's sealed. The American one, I'm not quite sure. And then, like I say, you can get it in. Where is it? That one there. That's got these two records and the Decca sessions in it as well. If you've got these LPs, by the way, or you've listened to them before, if you think you know it is definitely Ringo Starr on all them tracks, just drop me a comment. Again, if you think it's Pete Best on all those tracks, leave me a comment. Personally, I think it's a mixture of both of them. I don't think there's all, I think some of them were recorded at the beginning of 1962 when Pete Best was still in the band, and then the remainder was in December 62 when Ringo was in the band. But that's just my opinion. Like I say, when I do, I've listened to them. Drumming style does sound like it's two different people. It doesn't sound like it's the same person all the way through. But then again, like I've said before, they are very, very primitive recordings. It's the sort of thing you used to do at school when you used to have your little microphone and you'd tape your friends and things like that. Still nice to have. Historic value only, I should imagine, really. So I don't think they've ever got to be that, worth that much money. Still nice things to have, especially if you're a completist like me. Because obviously, this is depend on if these were recorded in December 62. Obviously, these were recorded after the Beatles had started recording for Parlophone. But I don't think they will. Like I say, I think there's probably two or three different shows mixed into one there. And the other thing was, these were rush released, weren't they, in one way, because they knew that the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl thing was going to come out. But I'm sure when they put these on CD, that did come out on CD as well, didn't it? I'm sure that George Harrison had to go to court and they won like damages, didn't they, against the people that was releasing these at the time. But like I've said, if you know different, please let me know. Please feel free to leave comments. It's just something a little bit interesting, a little bit different. Yes, it's still the Beatles, but is it Ringo Starr on the drums or Pete Best on the drums? Or is it both of them on the drums at different times in the year? I think it's the third one. Honestly, do think it's the third one. Everybody that is subscribing, thank you very much. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been informative to you. That's all I'm here for, is to spread a little bit of my knowledge and show you some of my records. If you've been watching my videos just before Christmas, I did do a video on Encouraging Words by Billy Preston and Is This What You Want by Jackie Lomax, which is that one. Yeah. Again, lovely albums. If you can get them in anywhere near decent condition, please do. And that's going to be it. Just a quick mention. I have had a couple of people like saying, can you just say hello to us and things like that. So obviously there's Jasper. He always like sends me some comments. There is actually a bloke called Marky Mark, although he's not the one that did the one from earlier on. I did a video a couple of days ago saying Marky Mark has asked, but it's not. Apparently, that's not this Marky Mark. Claire, Ashley, Susie Sue. If I've missed you, I'm sorry. If you want a name check, just like send me a comment with your name on. And next time I do a video, I'm more than happy to say hello to you. I mean, I say hello to everybody anyway, don't I, really? So that's going to be it for today. Whatever you're doing on this, technically it's a bank holiday, isn't it, today? Bank holiday Monday. I hope that you are having a nice time. I've had a bit of a strange day, to be honest, because I got up really, really early. I fell asleep last night downstairs, and then I woke up, and it was still only about, it wasn't late, it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock time. So I came to bed. And then from like 3 o'clock onwards, I was just wide awake. So I got up at like 5 o'clock, just before 5 o'clock, I think it was. Went downstairs and made myself a coffee so I didn't disturb my missus. And then about 11 o'clock, I just had this really, really like dead bad coughing fit. And I went like dead dizzy and everything. Then I sat down and had like 40 winks or half an hour. And then I didn't feel too bad after that, but just seemed a little bit strange. So I hope you are all well, and I hope whatever you've got planned for the forthcoming year, it all works out nice for you. There's a lot. I think there's going to be quite a bit of Beatles activity again, isn't there, this year? Probably might not be as much as last year. But I know we're getting we've been told we're getting a box set reissue of Sometime in New York City. I think that's right. So that's going to be nice to look forward to. So whatever you're doing, thank you very much. As always, love your records, cherish your records, clean your records. But when you get a chance, play your records. And if you can find some of these in good nick, I'd advise to like buy them while you can. So that's going to be it for today. So from Beatle Dave in not so sunny Derbyshire today in the UK, it's bye-bye for now, and I will see you all very, very soon. But until then, look after yourselves. And thank you for watching my channel.